One of Henry Cavill's earliest roles is this lesser-known Hellraiser movie. Once upon a time, a horror superstar nearing the twilight of his career produced a film co-starring an actor on the cusp of becoming a megastar. Hellraiser: Hellworld, the eighth film in the franchise, was released in 2005, and it was the final time Doug Bradley wore Pinhead makeup. Let's be honest, Hellraiser: Hellworld was a terrible film. Still, it's a significant horror film because it says goodbye to Bradley, who, no matter how awful the Hellraiser films became, always made Pinhead horrifying. It also matters because Henry Cavill, a slender 22-year-old British actor, is playing one of his first parts. That's right, the future Superman, the star of The Witcher, and Argelions faced off against Cenobites. Spoiler alert, it didn't go well for young Cavill this time, but it was an important milestone on his path to megastardom. Clive Barker's 1987 film Hellraiser, based on his novella The Hellbound Heart, is a horror classic. Pinhead and his Cenobites, infernal demons unleashed when summoned via the Lament configuration box, were a much-needed addition to the genre, infusing excitement into a stale era where everything had become about slashers. After that first film, however, the quality began to deteriorate. After the fourth picture, 1996's Hellraiser: Bloodline, the franchise was doomed to direct-to-video. Bradley persevered, making it through 8 entries, including 2005's Hellraiser: Hellworld. Bradley's final performance as Pinhead isn't a film worthy of his talent or the character. The premise is intriguing. A group of people become addicted to Hellworld, an online game in which the host entices them to join the Cenobites. It's not a horrible idea, but it's terribly implemented. As stated by Rotten Tomatoes with Hellraiser, Hellworld scored 0% on the tomatometer, and 22% from the audience. It is described as poor, uninteresting, idiotic, and lacking a plot. It's a shame because another horror legend, Lance Henriksen, plays one of the protagonists as the host. It also stars a young Henry Cavill, before his renowned appearance in Man of Steel. Hellworld is one of Cavill's early roles. In the film, he plays Mike, a sex addict. With his thick dark hair, black leather jacket, and, of course, chiseled chin, he appears like a future movie star. Mike is an unlikable character because he dismisses a friend's terrible death and mocks a picture of a nun. We know he's going to die, and we're okay with it. The mysterious host lures him to a party. A lovely woman wearing a mask convinces Mike to follow her. She leads him to a chair, gets on her knees in front of him, and you can imagine what happens. Mike gets on the phone and jokes about his pal blowing him off. Later, the suddenly uncovered woman informs Mike that he owes her one. The woman disappears while alone in a remote place. Mike becomes nervous when he finds himself surrounded by jars of fetuses. He dismisses them as props, but later discovers a dead body and his friend's head in another jar. Off-screen, the woman exposes her true identity as a Cenobite. As he dies, Mike gets to say one last joke, not good, as a hook tears through his flesh. He writhes and yells in anguish, delivering a convincing performance. You can see the talent that will eventually propel Henry Cavill to stardom.